What is Retatrutide or GLP-3? How does it compare to semaglutide and or tirzepatide? Stick with me because I have tried all three of these weight loss peptides. Step.
What you gonna do when your circuit's being burned out?
If you followed my channel for a while, you know that I don't just talk about things, I actually test them out for you. Over the past couple of years, I've personally used semaglutide, tirzepatide, and now the new Retatrutide. And today's video is not about hype, instructions, or telling anybody what to do. It's about what makes Retatrutide different, how it compares to the other weight loss peptides, and what I noticed in my own body after experiencing all three. Before we go any further, this video is for educational discussion only. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not telling you how much to take, where to buy anything, or how to inject anything. I'll share my personal experience, the science behind these compounds, and a high-level look at reconstitution without instructions or measurements. Anything related to sourcing these peptides is in the linked blog found below in the description. So look below if you want sourcing and how to put these things together. Why I even explore GLP-1s. So I've never been super heavy, so I didn't come into exploring GLP-1s from a standpoint of I need to lose tremendous amount of weight. For me, it started with sugar cravings, inflammation, and appetite dysregulation, especially during periods of stress and hormonal shifts. I think all of you ladies can relate to that. I wanted something that would help quiet that food noise, like shut it down, without wrecking my nervous system or health. My experience with semaglutide. Semaglutide, however you want to say it, this is my experience when I used it. So semaglutide was the first GLP-1 I tried. And to be completely honest, it worked like a gem, but made me very sick. I had significant nausea, felt disconnected from hunger cues in a way that I had never experienced before. That food noise was completely gone, and I was just amazed. Like nothing else in my life had ever worked like semaglutide. I have a few videos here on the channel about my experience with weight loss using semaglutide, and then also with the follow-up video about like how my hair fell out from using semaglutide. It's growing back. I lost 15 pounds within 3 months on semaglutide. It worked like a charm, you guys. But it did come with a cost. And most of that cost was I lost a lot of body muscle and I lost my hair. But the hair didn't start shedding until 3 months after I was done using semaglutide. So what ended up happening is I used it in the summer of 2023 and it definitely like shredded my body. It was awesome. I didn't feel hungry. I just felt like, wow, this is amazing. Like one less thing to worry about. But the thing that you have to keep in mind when you're using the GLP-1s is you really have to get that protein in. I know what's going to happen. You're going to be like, this is amazing. I don't need to eat and I'm losing weight and I feel so great. Yes. But the problem is if you don't eat, like if you were in a, labor camp and you have no food, you lose all your muscle and your hair will start to fall out. It's called telogen effluvium. I have a video here on it. And basically it's just the shock trauma of having low calories for a certain amount of time, which will appear later on about 3 to 4 months after that severe drop in calories, your hair will start to drop. And it's so crazy. And I was just like so shocked and it was really hard. So if you go on the GLP-1s and you have no desire to eat, I highly recommend you back down your dose because you need to find that sweet spot where you feel in control, but you can still get in about 100 grams of protein a day. And you need to be able to lift heavy on these GLP-1s. Don't worry about cardio. Don't worry about any of that. Just worry about continuing to stress your muscles and build muscle density while also giving protein. And then you'll have the best results. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can follow along and catch more videos just like this one. I also go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific here on the Spa and Tele YouTube channel, where you can experience at-home skincare in real time with me. Plus there's a huge comment section, so we do a great job of answering your questions and getting back to you. The second weight loss peptide I tried was tirzepatide. So tirzepatide actually has 2 receptors in it to help with weight loss. I tolerated this peptide much better. I wasn't nearly as sick, but you have to keep in mind that when I tried it, I wasn't trying to lose any more weight. I was already down to the weight I wanted, which is about 110 pounds, which is great for me because I'm 5'2". All I wanted to do with the tirzepatide was to try it out and see how it varied in comparison to the semaglutide. But then also I wanted to be able to keep inflammation down and keep my cravings down because I was happy with where I was, but I just wanted that little extra support to make sure that I didn't run off and eat like a bunch of Twinkies or ice cream. By the way, using the semaglutide destroyed my desire for ice cream. I used to be such an ice cream eater. I have no desire for ice cream anymore. I would have never thought that something could rewire my brain the way that it did. This peptide literally took away all desire and craving for ice cream. Like I have no desire for it. I don't even know the last time I ate it. Like I really don't care about ice cream. That doesn't mean that I didn't shift my desire for sugar into other things. Like now I'm like really into like cookies and baked goods, which I'm trying to step down, but I have no desire or pull for ice cream. It's so interesting. So tirzepatide, like semaglutide, semaglutide targets the GLP-1 receptor. So it's that brain-gut axis. What makes retatrutide different? So retatrutide is working on 3 pathways. So semaglutide worked on 1, tirzepatide worked on 2, and now retatrutide works on 3. And as explained before, semaglutide targets the GLP-1 receptor, tirzepatide targets the GLP-1 receptor plus the GIB receptor, and now retatrutide targets the GLP-1 receptor, the GIB factor, and the glucagon receptor. Apparently, the glucagon receptor is the thing that makes people pay attention. Glucagon plays a role in how people expend energy and metabolize fat, not simply just appetite suppression. So instead of saying only eat less, the mechanism in the retatrutide apparently supports how the energy is used. So basically upping your expenditure of energy. So it's really helpful at burning excess fat. And this is based on human trials so far. In published obesity trials, retatrutide showed significant average weight reduction over 48 weeks. All of these are great things, but how do we feel on it? That's the most important aspect to me, because on semaglutide, I did not feel great on it. I felt tired. I felt nauseous. It just was a pretty severe peptide. And yes, I could have backed it down some, and I did, because in the video where I talk about tapering it, I did taper it down and felt much better on it. But if you've ever tried the first one, you may have also experienced a lot of nausea, tiredness, and you're like, I can't stay on this. So that's the reason, as they've iterated these peptides and figured out new ways of hitting on these receptors, I think they're getting so much better for people to be able to use long term. Here's my personal experience with retatrutide. What I'm using the retatrutide for is similar to how I use tirzepatide, in the fact that I want to use it in a way that kills food noise, that eliminates my desire for sugar, because I do not want to be eating sugar, you guys, and that keeps my inflammation down so that my joints and my body just feel so much better. So compared to semaglutide, I have felt so much more functional on the retatrutide. Compared to the tirzepatide, I've noticed a bit more craving control, and that may just be the dosing, because maybe I was just dosing too little on the tirzepatide, but with the retatrutide, I feel like my dose is pretty perfect for knocking out the sugar component and the food noise while still being able to eat protein and stay healthy. And of course, my experience is not going to be the same as everyone else's. I'm just sharing what has worked for me and what I've observed. Everyone's bodies are different, and so we're going to all experience these things a little bit different. I just hope to continue to give you guys insight. Okay, the big question is hair loss plus the GLP-1s, what's going on? Since hair loss comes up consistently, I want to address this directly. Most shedding of the hair with any GLP-1 is associated with telogen effluvium. Again, that is just when you trigger your body into a low state of calories, and that metabolic stressor basically shuts down hair replication. And then 3 months after that stressor happens, your hair falls out. Okay. It's not the GLP-1 doing it. If you were put in a cage and not fed for a month, the same thing would happen. So it's not the GLP-1s or these weight loss peptides that could cause your hair to fall out. It has everything to do with you not being responsible as an adult to get in enough calories to maintain hair growth. So reconstituting one of these powder vials just means turning the powder, which is suspending the peptides inside of it, into a liquid by using bacteriostatic water. So we just put these things together, and then we have a solution that can be injected. And with retatrutide, just like some other GLP-1s or weight loss peptides, you would do your injection once a week. I'm intentionally not sharing dosing or how to reconstitute on this video because I want to stay in line with YouTube's rules of operation, and I do not want to have any issues here. But if you go to the blog linked below in this video, I give you a lot more insight on where to source and how to put this together and how I am dosing myself. In my opinion, I don't think there's a single best weight loss peptide. I think that all of them seem to affect everyone differently, and some people really like one, or some people enjoy one and the price point on that one is great, because as they've had iterations, the prices have come down on them. So like if semaglutide works for you at a certain level, then just keep doing that because it's going to be cheaper, for instance, than the new iterations that are coming out later. But as these grow in popularity, obviously the cost does seem to come down because there's more users. In the end, what matters most is how you're able to be consistent and show up for yourself in a healthy way while using these peptides. It's also important to have a support network for it. There's nothing wrong with using these peptides, and there's nothing wrong with feeling your best. In the Natural Chaos app, we have a community dedicated to peptides use, and that's where we share beyond injectables, but also where we share about peptides. For me, so far, the retatrutide has felt like the most balanced peptide I've used for weight loss. But that's just my experience, not any recommendation. The biggest takeaway that I have between the Retatrutide and the Semaglutide is that I just don't feel tired. The Semaglutide just made me feel so tired. And that was really hard because then you can't go to the gym, then you don't want to do your work, then you're going to bed early. You're just being so lazy and tired and sedative. And so I think that the Retatrutide is a much better application or tool for being able to live regular life and not be so sedative. With all that said, make sure to check below, go to the blog, see what it's all about, check out the sourcing, check out how you could use this yourself. And if you have any questions or peptides you've used, please drop it in the comments below. We love to connect over the same topics, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, my friends. I'm going to share with you guys how to reconstitute Retatrutide. This vial is an 8 milligram vial. That's how you do it.
I say what you gonna